things we have to correct in America is people should not have to feel bad about living in any part of the country where their politics isn't the majority. And that works both ways.
I agree.
Like, you didn't feel comfortable there, and that's wrong. And look, I never stop ragging on liberals and woke people, not liberals. I'm a liberal. These people are different. For just being this is the I won't eat with you at Thanksgiving people. This is the no contact thing. But, you know, lots of liberals wouldn't be comfortable at a NASCAR rally either. I mean, there are places where but I will say, and this is something I'm going to say Friday night, the liberals are worse about this. I will admit it, and we have to look in the mirror on that one. We are just worse at the snob.
Bill Maher recently hosted Lara Trump, and the moment was electric. Viewers on the left were stunned as Maher and Lara teamed up to deliver some hard-hitting truths. Their back and forth was sharp, bold, and wildly entertaining. Buckle up, because things are about to get intense.
This time of year for this show, there's like, I've done the same topic, I feel like, every year, because I have to, because there's only one topic that's sort of appropriate, which is, it's Thanksgiving. Be with your family. Don't cut off your family.
Agreed.
I know you do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Even when there's a lot of things we don't agree on, and there's certainly a lot of things your father-in-law does that I don't like, and he has let me know.
I'm sure he has.
Oh, yes. But, you know, but here's the difference. I'll tell you the difference. When I went there, I brought that is a page of 56 different, just the mind of a man who could come up with those many off the top of his head. I know, this is, of course, over many years.
Of course.
But still, it's just like, I couldn't come up with that many variations if I tried.
Let's embark on an unforgettable and fiery journey. Maher didn't waste a single minute. He went straight for the jugular, calling out the left for turning absolutely everything, even Thanksgiving, into a political battleground. He pointed out how many progressives now refuse to share a simple holiday meal with conservative relatives, choosing ideological purity over family ties. According to Maher, that mindset is exactly the kind of division tearing the country apart. His invitation to Lara Trump emphasized a bigger message. You can hold wildly different views and still sit at the same table, share a meal, and have a real, respectful conversation. Disagreement doesn't have to destroy connection. And Thanksgiving shouldn't be collateral damage in America's culture wars.
Something was going on with his hand, and I said,
the hand.
Save yourself. I'm 70. That could be my hand tomorrow.
It's true.
So
absolutely.
I'm not making fun of physical deformities and that stuff.
Good for you.
It was fun for a minute, and but like, yeah, I don't need it. And if we can like do that on a bigger basis where people are talking and give it, somebody has to give a little somewhere.
So, for those who might not be aware, reports circulated online about a vein condition affecting Trump's hand. It's not life-threatening, not dramatic, and certainly not the political earthquake some on the left are trying to turn it into. But predictably, they latched onto it, twisting a simple medical issue into yet another round of mockery. Maher, however, refused to join that circus. He made it clear that physical conditions can happen to anyone and shouldn't be weaponized for cheap political points. In his view, the left is grasping at anything, even something as ordinary as this, to drag Trump, the same way Biden was mocked for his frailties. Maher called it out for exactly what it is, desperation.
And I always give the conservatives their props on that.
Yeah.
I say it almost every time a conservative is on the show or comes here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm willing to sit down and talk to anybody.
Ask any conservative. Unfortunately, we can't ask Charlie Kirk, who was here.
That's right.
Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene was on real time, either here or on the show. Ask any of them. They will always, Ted Cruz, they will always say, we had a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time. Now there are people who I wouldn't have here, like that little prick Nick Fuentes.
And this is exactly what sends the left into a full meltdown, Bill Maher daring to praise conservatives. Nothing triggers them faster. To many on the far left, conservatives aren't just political opponents, they're people you shouldn't sit with, shouldn't share a meal with, and shouldn't even acknowledge as reasonable human beings. So when someone from their own cultural lane, like Maher, steps out and openly admits that conservatives might have a valid point or two, the reaction is pure outrage. It feels almost like a betrayal. Instead of engaging with what he actually said, they explode over the fact that he said anything positive at all. That's the real issue for them. Even a hint of conservative validation is unacceptable.
Like, Trump is not Hitler.
No.
I mean, Larry David said I had dinner with Hitler because it was such a
shame.
bullshit thing.
Yeah.
Trump is not Hitler. This Fuentes kid, that's Hitler.
No, there's nothing I will say that I've heard come out of his mouth that I think I agree with, or many people who consider themselves MAGA. And quite frankly, the fact that he's got a Trump flag up behind him shouldn't say that, we agree with him. That's unfortunate. We need to get you a new lighter.
You know what?
What happened around here? We got anybody with a lighter?
Maher has been facing intense backlash for pushing back against the idea that Trump is the next Hitler. Critics on the left are furious that he won't repeat their most extreme comparisons, and they've turned that frustration squarely on him. But Maher hasn't budged. He argues that the accusation is not only false but wildly irresponsible, especially coming from people who should know better. He even mentioned that he recently had dinner with Trump, and nothing about that encounter suggested a man plotting tyranny or genocide. To Maher, the Hitler label is a lazy, hysterical smear that cheapens real history, and for saying so, he's now in the crosshairs of his own ideological camp.
The coercion that went on during COVID, I was
Terrible.
not down with that.
Terrible.
Okay. So you can see why the left is very skeptical of me on that issue. I'm still not where RFK is. And where is he? I don't know, because he'll say one thing and then I'm like, look, I'm reading it out of your book. I said to him, you said, all vaccines, you're against all vaccines. He said, that's what you think? I said, well, yeah, you wrote it. What do you mean? But he,
But he can have his opinion, and then there's public policy as well. And I think that for so many people who, look at the people who lost their jobs because they didn't get the COVID vaccine, all the problems it caused.
Maher also didn't hold back when criticizing how the left handled COVID, especially when it came to mandates and public pressure. He argued that the sweeping vaccine requirements were driven more by political arrogance than by a genuinely thoughtful public health strategy. Those were difficult days, he said, when people were being laid off, ostracized, or treated like pariahs simply because they refused to take a vaccine. Many felt uneasy about a shot that was framed as a cure-all during a time when COVID messaging shifted so often that people didn't know what to trust. Maher pointed out how a climate of fear and moral superiority created an environment where dissent wasn't discussed, it was punished. And then there was Dr. Fauci, appearing on television almost daily as the face of the pandemic response, issuing confident declarations that later seemed inconsistent or confusing as guidance continued to change. Maher criticized the lack of accountability and the refusal of many on the left to acknowledge that the science evolved in ways that contradicted what they once framed as absolute truth. To him, it was a textbook case of power mixed with panic, and the country paid for it.
Wow, this guy is just way too hungry. Thirsty, I think the kids call
thirsty.
it.
The kids do say thirsty.
He's thirsty and just too left for me, like California. And so did I cry crocodile tears? No, but he and Letitia James, I think in New York, we're talking about checking the wrong box on if you're going to do that, let's go through everybody's mortgage, because I think you'll find some people on your side who might have done that.
Maher also took aim at prominent figures on the left over what he described as reported or circulating online accusations about mortgage-related issues, highlighting what he sees as a pattern of people preaching accountability while facing questions themselves. He referenced Eric Swalwell and Letitia James in the context of those media discussions, noting that even minor paperwork discrepancies can carry significant legal implications. Maher didn't frame it as a strictly partisan problem. In the interest of fairness, he pointed out that Republicans could just as easily face similar scrutiny. But the reality, he emphasized, is that Swalwell and James are the ones currently under the spotlight in public conversation, and that's where the debate is centered. Still, he stressed the importance of sticking to verifiable facts rather than political spin. If any wrongdoing were ever proven, he argued, the individuals involved should be held to the same legal standards as anyone else, no protective political bubble, no ideological excuses. Let investigations run their course. Let evidence, not partisanship, determine the outcome, just as it would for any ordinary American.
That I think
But
America's
I
ready
completely
for
disagree with
president.
it.
Yeah.
She's, if people don't know, and we're going to talk about it on my show Friday, I think. I mean, she said, don't even ask me to run for president because we're not ready for it. And we prove that, and the country needs to grow up. And that is not my take on this. My take on this is, first of all, it's not a scientific fact that the two women who the Democrats ran lost because they're women, which is exactly what the premise of your comment is. We ran women and they didn't win. Well, first of all,
Maher didn't hold back when he addressed Michelle Obama's recent comments suggesting that Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton lost their elections simply because they were women. He called the remark not only simplistic but unscientific, arguing that it ignores the far more complex realities of electoral politics. Elections are won or lost based on policies, messaging, and the ability to connect with voters, not solely on gender. I have to agree with him. Reducing political outcomes to a single factor like gender is misleading and obscures the practical reasons voters make their choices. Democrats didn't lose because they ran women. They lost because their messaging, policy priorities, and campaign strategies failed to resonate with the broader electorate. Voters respond to substance, effectiveness, and trustworthiness, not tokenism. Maher's critique underscores an important point. Oversimplifying electoral failures through the lens of identity politics does a disservice to both candidates and the democratic process. And it's a perspective worth taking seriously in today's hyperpartisan climate.
in America is people should not have to feel bad about living in any part of the country where their politics isn't the majority. And that works both ways.
I agree.
Like, you didn't feel comfortable there, and that's wrong. And look, I never stop ragging on liberals and woke people, not liberals. I'm a liberal. These people are different. This is the I won't eat with you at Thanksgiving people. This is the no contact thing. But, you know, lots of liberals wouldn't be comfortable at a NASCAR rally either. I mean, there are places where but I will say, and this is something I'm going to say Friday night, the liberals are worse about this. I will admit it, and we have to look in the mirror.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Everyone deserves to feel comfortable and respected wherever they are, regardless of political beliefs. At the end of the day, what truly matters is that we are all Americans striving for a better life, not just for ourselves, but for our families and future generations. Political affiliation should never determine someone's sense of belonging or safety within a community. Being a Republican shouldn't make me feel out of place in a predominantly Democratic neighborhood, just as being a Democrat shouldn't make anyone uneasy in a conservative area. Our shared humanity, our common values, and our desire for stability and opportunity should always rise above partisan divides.
At the snobby thing, I don't know any conservatives who don't at least talk.
Right.
You know? Now, maybe that's because you won. Maybe that's because it's easy.
There was a time where we didn't.
And you still came. It's true.
Yes, there was a time we didn't.
They're happy warriors. I remember that term when I was a kid. Like, that was somebody who was like, and that's what Republicans usually are. They're happy warriors. They come there. And you see, I don't pull my punches. They take their shots like a man.
Maher's point drives this home. Political differences shouldn't stop us from engaging respectfully, forming meaningful connections, or simply enjoying our daily lives. Comfort, coexistence, and mutual respect should be the standard in every community, no matter which side of the political spectrum dominates. We're stronger when we focus on what unites us rather than what divides us, and there goes Maher again, openly praising conservatives, and it's easy to see why. Over the years, he's had far more conservatives on his show than liberals, and there's a reason for that. Conservatives, he notes, are often willing to have their worldview tested and challenged. They walk into debates with confidence, ready to defend their beliefs with conviction and clarity, usually without resorting to personal attacks or emotional theatrics. That self-assurance is striking, and it makes for compelling television and genuinely meaningful dialogue. By contrast, Maher argues that many liberals tend to thrive in echo chambers and on social media, where their ideas are amplified but rarely questioned. Outside those controlled environments, their arguments sometimes crumble under scrutiny, revealing a dependence on slogans and popular opinion rather than rigorous debate. Maher finds this contrast fascinating. On one side, a willingness to engage openly and confidently, on the other, a performance crafted for applause rather than honest discussion. For him, that willingness to engage is what makes conservatives far more interesting guests. In the end, Maher's admiration isn't about politics alone, it's about the courage to debate openly and defend one's beliefs without flinching. Conservatives consistently bring that energy to the table, creating real conversations, while many liberals retreat to the comfort of social media echo chambers. It's that readiness to face scrutiny head-on that keeps the dialogue meaningful, honest, and undeniably compelling. And with that, we draw the curtains on today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.